How cool is this canyon, huh?
Welcome back to the channel, everybody. Today I want to talk about one of the coolest things that we've done, a family bike ride in Zion National Park. We want to talk to you about all the cool little things that we did to make this a really successful family outing, and we'll share with you all the details about how to do it yourself.
Are we going to talk about the fact that it was my idea?
Does it really matter to you who gets the credit?
Yes. If I hadn't pushed for that, would you have done it? Would you have been like, hey, let's go bike Zions on the road?
I probably wouldn't have come up with the idea on my own.
As I said.
Yeah. But so cool.
Props, please.
Oh yeah.
Well, okay, I got the idea from our friend Jane.
Yeah.
Who did it multiple times in a row, like did it every single morning this summer when she was down here in St. George, like every day. And I was like, why do you keep riding why do you keep riding Zion every day? And she's like, it's my favorite ride. And I was like, interesting. So she kind of told me a little bit about it. Just you park there at the visitor center or whatever, and you bike the road. All the way up and all the way back is an 18-mile round trip. And she said it's the best way to see the park. And I'm like, we've never done that.
Yeah, and we've biked a couple national parks before. I've done Yellowstone and I've done Grand Teton National Park.
I've only done Grand Teton.
And it is a great way to see the park because you go slower and you get to look around.
It's really spectacular, like a great way to see a national park.
I have to add also that with Zions, usually everybody rides the tram, which means you're shoved in a little box up and down this road for 8 miles. You do not see.
It's really hard to see
all these sights unless you get out and then hike. But even then, you're like out of touch with all the cool things. We saw wild turkeys on the road.
And deer.
We saw deer right on the road. It was really cool.
I got a picture of the turkeys, did you?
I got them on video.
Oh, look at you.
I rode right up to them.
They were not scared.
No, they were not.
The deer were not scared either.
I don't think it matters where you park.
No, you could park right there in, is it Springdale?
It's right there in Springdale.
You could park in there and ride right in.
We tried to park in the park, in the really big parking area that they've got. It was packed. We couldn't even find a place to park.
No, it was full.
We parked just outside the park, paid for parking. If you've got a road bike or if you've got an e-bike, you could park as far away as Hurricane. I think you could park basically, depending on your skill level, anywhere from Hurricane all the way up into the gate. And obviously Hurricane's about 23 miles away from the park, so you add 50 miles round trip, right? So if you're an experienced cyclist, that's a good day.
Yeah, that's a solid training
If
day.
you're a beginner, that's too far. Get somewhere closer to the park.
Yeah, I think a good parking spot is right there before the gate. There's this big place called Zion Outfitters, and there's a big parking lot right there before you get into the park. Of course, even on bikes or on foot, you're gonna have to go through the gate and show your park pass.
Right.
So make sure you have that and your license.
There are lots of bike rental shops.
Oh yeah.
All up and down. You can rent e-bikes or regular bikes. You want to make it, honestly, on an e-bike, this is an easy day.
On an e-bike, it's a piece of cake.
Yeah. We took both the grandmothers
Yes, my mom and your mom.
on their e-bikes, no problem.
No problem at all. Totally good.
Okay, so it was fantastic to see the grandmas ride the bikes with the grandkids. That's why I love e-bikes.
Well, and I will also say, just in case you're wondering, we took all of our kids who were on mountain bikes, which are heavier. It's not ideal bike for this, but our kids' ages are 10 up to 18, and the 10-year-old did fine.
Yeah.
Like totally fine.
So this is a very family-friendly ride.
We saw one guy hauling a bike trailer with like an infant.
Yes.
Props.
And that was not an e-bike.
No, he had a regular bike.
I was looking to see, I'm like, that guy, I wonder if he was hauling an e-bike up there.
No, he totally did it with a little trailer.
All cyclists can ride the paved river trail.
They recommend that for the first section.
For the first, I don't know what that is.
2.5 miles.
2.5 miles. You ride along the river. It was beautiful.
It was so cool.
Lots of foot traffic.
Yes, lots of people.
So you're not riding fast. So if you think you're gonna come through there as a Tour de France cyclist, you're wrong.
No yellow jerseys on that section.
Yeah, we were riding just faster than walking pace.
Yeah.
Through most of that.
Yeah, lots of dogs. Oh, dogs were allowed on leash on that trail, which is unusual for a national park.
After that first section, that's where the road forks. That's the one that goes off to the other side of the park, goes through into Bryce.
Yes.
The other fork goes up to the canyon, up towards the Narrows. No traffic allowed up there. In certain parts of the year, you can drive up for another mile or two.
If the shuttles are not running, you can drive your personal car. But the shuttles were running when we were there.
Right. So from then on, we're riding on the road with the trams and the other traffic. So we coached the kids through most of that. Had to give them some pretty good instructions about when to pull off. The trams will not pass you unless you put a foot down.
Yeah, which I actually really like. So if you're on a bike and moving, the tram will not pass you. They will wait for you to stop and put a foot down. That's when they will go around you.
So we worked out a communication plan with all the kids, had call signals so they knew when to get off, and I rode in the back and gave them all that information so we knew when to stop, put a foot down, and wait for the tram to pass. I think we were only passed by 4 trams, 4 or 5, stops where we stopped for maybe 30 seconds to a minute. You're gonna want to stop way more than that anyway, just to take pictures.
Yeah, which we did.
Now, it is a fairly gradual climb with a couple steeper sections.
I didn't realize it was so uphill.
Yeah.
Until we turned around and came back.
Right.
Like I knew I was working. I was breathing. I was warm. But I was just thinking I was out of shape for road biking is what I was thinking. I'm like, wow, I should get out more.
Yeah.
Right? And then when we turned around, I was like, oh, we climbed uphill the whole way.
In those 8 miles, I think we only climbed 500 feet?
I have 670 feet total.
Total. So 670 feet total across the 18 miles. Now there is, like I said, it is a little gradual, so there's some up and down both directions.
But it's mostly up.
But it's mostly up going one way and mostly down coming back. I think it took us about an hour and 20 minutes to get up.
40
and
minutes.
40 minutes to get down.
To get back.
Let's talk about weather and gear.
Okay.
It was 45 to 50 degrees.
Yeah, it was sunny when the sun was right above us, but once it tucked behind, it was a lot cooler.
And on the way up, the wind was blowing down out of the canyon into our faces. So we were fighting wind and the hill.
Yes.
It was a little chilly.
It was chilly on the way back. I think because we were going so much faster.
I was it was a little chilly when we got started, but as soon as we started climbing, we all got warm. We were shedding layers, even though the wind was in our face.
I didn't wear bike shorts for that. I wore fleece-lined leggings.
Yeah.
And my legs were fine.
We all had layers. We all had windbreakers. We all had pants. I don't think anybody was in shorts. But I would not say we were cold. I think we were probably in that medium spot where we were comfortable.
I was perfect until halfway through the ride back. My hands got a little cold.
Coming down, we were going faster. We were probably averaging about 18 miles an hour.
You hit 25?
I hit 25.
Miles an hour coming down that hill. Just coasting.
Mostly coasting.
And that's a lot of wind on your hands.
Yes, it is.
But mostly I was not cold.
So you're going to want to be prepared with layers, have a backpack, have a way to take layers on and off. And you'll be fine.
Most people probably won't go in December.
My point is, this is a cool ride. You could ride just about any time of year.
Oh, I think so. I think so.
If you get a good weather day, I'm going to say as long as it's 40 degrees or warmer.
You're set.
This is a great ride. Honestly, in the summer, it's going to get really hot.
Yeah, our friend that did it always did it early morning.
Yeah. So if you're going to do it in the summer, do it early morning. Keep it nice and cool. But as long as it's not snowing, and it could snow up there anytime.
I've seen snow up
in
there.
the winter. So watch your weather. Make sure you get a good weather window where you're at least above, I'm going to say above 30 degrees, 40 degrees is perfect. And under 90.
Yeah, under 90 would be good. Yes.
If it's 90 and above, it might not be fun.
Well, you know what you could do is you could get up to the Narrows, park your bike, and then just walk in and dunk in the river.
Oh yeah, that'd be
and
great.
then come back.
So that's one thing I love about this is you could combine this activity with all sorts of hikes.
You could, yeah. Just bring a bike lock with you, but there's places to rack your bike everywhere.
Yeah. So cool. Now, there's not a lot of places to eat and find concessions up there.
Just the lodge at stop 4.
Right. Right.
And I smelled those fries, didn't you?
I did, and I was thinking we should stop.
We should.
And we did not.
But I'm regretting that.
So plan your snacks and your food appropriately, but honestly, be open to combining this with other hiking activities, even hiking the Narrows.
Well, the Narrows is a long hike. If you're super fit, it's fine. If you have kids with you, maybe you just do the 1 mile boardwalk to the river entrance.
Right.
And back. But you could do the Emerald Pools is a super short hike. There's tons. The Weeping Rock is like right there. We almost did Angel's Landing, but it started raining.
Zion's is such a small national park that they use the tram a lot. Like you really can't get back in there most of the year unless you ride the tram. This was not much slower than riding the tram.
Yeah, when we did the Narrows, it took us 45 minutes to go the 9 miles.
Just on the tram.
On the tram.
That doesn't include the time waiting to get onto the tram because there was a huge line. My point is, you could easily get on your bike and ride up here and especially if you're on an e-bike, it's probably just as fast. It's not much slower. So I think seeing the national park on a bike is spectacular and logistically not much more difficult.
I think everyone should do it.
I think so too.
It was really amazing. I think my kids said it was their favorite day.
Yeah. We've been doing a lot of different things down here in the St. George area. That was one of the highlights.
It really was.
So, there you go. If you're interested in riding Zion's National Park, it is very easy to do. Bring your own bikes, come down here, rent from some of the outfitters that are down here, and plan a full day. Well, it's not even a full day.
It only took us 2 hours.
Plan a couple hours to ride your bike in the national park. It could be done in 2 hours, easily.
Or faster if you're really good.
There were some cyclists up there that were definitely faster than us.
Well, they had road bikes, first of all.
Honestly, for most cyclists, you'll know 20 miles.
That's like an hour.
It's like an hour ride. It's not that difficult. This is not that much elevation gain. It's kind of rolling hill, generally up, fast downhill.
It was fun.
Beautiful views the entire way.
10 out of 10 recommend.
10 out of 10, recommend this one. Family bike ride in Zion National Park. Give it a shot. Hope you guys enjoyed the footage. Hope you enjoyed the idea. If you guys get a chance to do it yourselves, let us know in the comments how you enjoyed it yourself. We'll see you guys next time.